Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dylan Lusk, and I'm a meteorologist with the National Weather Service here in Peachtree City/Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm going to be bringing you your weekly weather briefing for Thursday, September 2nd, 2021. We'll start with a couple of quick highlights. So thankfully, impacts from Ida for our area were minimal. Um, Really, for us, unlike our unfortunate neighbors really all around us from Louisiana all the way up to what happened in the Northeast last night, for us, really, we only had a couple of downed trees and some minor river flooding, and we'll kind of go over that and show you what the total rainfall was, at least for North Georgia especially. And then otherwise, really, we've got a beautiful couple of days ahead with temperatures that are going to be in the 80s to low 90s, really area wide. And that's going to continue through most of the forecast period. Otherwise, it'll be clear the next couple of days. We do get some low end rain chances that will return on Sunday as we get kind of a weak front that pushes in from the north, and that'll continue into next week. But as of right now, we're expecting those chances to remain rather low. So, great week ahead. So here's our rainfall totals from Ida. This is basically going Monday afternoon through Tuesday night, which is when the bulk of the precipitation really pushed through for us. As you can see, most areas got at least around a half of an inch of rain. In some areas, especially as you get in further east in Georgia, they didn't get quite as much. But as we go into North Georgia, and then if you notice kind of a nice strip there on the west side of the metro, we did have some pretty impressive overall total rainfall going anywhere from 2 to 3 inches with some isolated pockets that got even higher in that like 3 to 4 or 4+ range. Thankfully though, given the time of year and since it's summer, and given that we hadn't had a lot of antecedent rainfall before this, we really have only seen some minor flooding issues overall with some minor flooding on some of our creeks and streams and rivers and things like that. And to kind of show you that, here are all the warnings that we issued from Ida, basically going from Monday through the current time right now. And as you can see, these kind of green splotches that you see up in the north, those are our flood warnings for our various rivers that we saw some rises on, and we still have some of those that are ongoing right now. Otherwise, we had a couple of severe warnings, and just at least in our area of responsibility in North and Central Georgia, we only saw 2 tornado warnings. As you can see, they had a few more down towards South Georgia, especially for the folks that are covered by the office in Tallahassee. Otherwise, we only issued a couple of severe warnings, which we've gotten a couple of reports, mainly of just downed trees and little in the way of damage otherwise, which we are very thankful to see. We'll take that every time from a tropical system moving through our area, or at least moving close by to our area. Moving on to the current conditions for today, it's beautiful out there, quite frankly. Temps today are going to get into the 80s through most of Georgia. We've had, basically, with Ida pushing off to the northeast, a very weak kind of frontal system that has pushed through. It's brought in a much drier air mass than we've had the past couple of days, or really it feels like weeks at this point. And so enjoy a welcome reprieve from the humidity for sure. The only places that we're really going to see rain chances are going to be down towards the basically south central Georgia and into southern Georgia itself, which is handled once again by our colleagues down in Tallahassee and Jacksonville. That's kind of where that front has stalled out at this point, and so we could see some additional redevelopment of some storms along that front as we go through the day-to-day. Otherwise, as I said before, our high temperatures today are looking to be in the mid to upper 80s, and even honestly down into the lower 80s as we get up into North Georgia, which, as I said before, enjoy the reprieve from the humidity and the heat today. It's not too often recently, it feels like, that we get something like this in September, especially early September. As we go into tomorrow, it's really much more the same, and that front that has been stalled kind of down towards southern Georgia is going to finally push its way a little bit further south, and at least as of right now, it looks like our rain chances across the entire state are going to be pretty limited. Moving into early next week, so going Saturday and really more into Sunday, Monday, What I'm kind of showing you here with this GIF or GIF, however you wish to pronounce it, basically the darker the colors are here, you can kind of think of it as being an atmosphere that's a little bit more conducive to, say, getting showers and thunderstorms and things like that for us. And so early on, you can see we got a lot of light colors over us. That's that dry air that's in place. Eventually, as we go into Sunday, so about here, and as we go into Monday, we get a front that very slowly looks to approach the area, and that's going to help draw back in some of that moisture from the Gulf and things like that, though it's not looking to be too extreme. So we will have basically some chances for precipitation, generally starting on Sunday and then going through early next week. Right now, those chances are looking to be in the 20 to 40% range on any given day, and it's likely going to depend pretty heavily on where the front decides to kind of stall for that day as to who's going to get hit on any given day. So kind of stay tuned to the forecast for that, but for the most part, it isn't going to be any worse than what we would normally expect with our kind of diurnally driven showers and thunderstorms for this time of year. We're definitely not expecting any kind of widespread severe weather or anything like that with this stuff. Last, just we'll cover the tropics real quick and give you a quick update on that. Thankfully, things are looking a little bit more on the quiet end, at least for the U.S. We've got Ida, which is now considered to be post-tropical or remnants of Ida, which are beginning to finally pull out of the Northeast after the horrific flooding that they saw last night. Otherwise, for our concerns here in Georgia, we do have a little area that you can see highlighted in yellow down towards the Caribbean and then moving into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico there. That's kind of a weak disturbance that's sitting right off the coast of Nicaragua right now. We're not really expecting too much out of this. There have been some models that have occasionally tried to fire it up, but really conditions over the Gulf of Mexico and through that whole area are not expected to be too favorable. There's going to be a lot of wind shear that's going to be in place. So at least for right now, we're really not, it could form into something, but even if it does, we're expecting it to stay pretty weak, and it likely at this time would not be something that would be very impactful to us, which is wonderful to see. We certainly need a break in the U.S. All around, given the past 2 years of tropical seasons. Otherwise, we've got Hurricane Larry, which has actually been pretty rapidly intensifying way out there in the Atlantic just now. It literally just emerged off the coast of Africa not too long ago. And at this time, most models show it remaining out at sea. Over the next week, it basically will continue to travel to the west, eventually move more northwest, and the expectation is that it will eventually get caught up and kind of swept off to the northeast before making any kind of impact with land in the U.S. That being said, it would be potentially 2 weeks or a week and a half at the very minimum before this would even begin to make any kind of approach to the U.S. So definitely keep an eye on it, keep it in the back of your mind, because we can't necessarily rule out that it could continue on a more southerly track or something like that. So, but for now, at least for this briefing especially, and for the next week, it is not going to be a concern to us or the United States in any way. Otherwise, the tropics are looking great. There's not much out there right now. So in summary, we did have some impacts from Ida, primarily though just a couple of down trees and some minor river flooding. And as I've said previously, given all the impacts that many other locations have seen across the U.S., we will absolutely take that for us. Otherwise, it's going to be a beautiful couple of days ahead. Temperatures are going to be in the 80s to low 90s across the area through most of this forecast period. We'll get some low-end rain chances that return Sunday and continue through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday across, starting in North Georgia, and then it'll kind of move with wherever that front tends to stall out over the area. And so that's it. Thank you so much. If you need to connect with us in any way, we always have our phone right here. We're open 24/7, so of course feel free to give us a call. You can also reach out on the on our Twitter and our Facebook. We do try to keep those monitored, and this will be going up on YouTube very shortly. So thank you so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.